All right, this is October 5th for 5th period, and this video is for anyone who is showed up either late or was absent, so you know what we did today. So let me share my screen with you. Oh, that's the chat. All right, so the first thing we talked about was this was the Google Slides, and you had an Edpuzzle based on the tables and how to present information, and we talked about what were things that were helpful and useful and helped us present the data and helped us understand and be able to see it and easily read it. We talked about how we want the calculations to be correct. We want the calculations to be on there, the actual numbers, the values. So this one was a little bit unorganized, and we don't have to present all of our math work. We want to make sure it's correct, but we don't have to present it. We talked about how it would be really important for it to be organized and separated, just like this person did. But we want to make sure when we do this, anytime you use a symbol, if it means something already in math, like the dash, that means minus already, we use that correctly. And anytime you use a letter, you want to make sure you tell us what that letter means. And if you use this symbol, that already means divide. So you want to be really careful with the symbols. And just like they made a column here, you want to tell us what that represents. And so we talked about how it would be easy to read if it was organized, if it was separated, like this T-chart. We talked about how months, these are not the months because those are numbers. Months would be August, September, October, November. And so we talked about that already in the Edpuzzle. So now we're making our new table. Um, it is like a T-chart, but this is an algebraic tool called a table. And so this is on page 7. This is part of your grade. You'll need to upload it to the Google Classroom in a little bit. But this is the first tool. By the end of the 6 weeks, you're going to have to know how to create your own table correctly. It needs to be done well, and there's these different components that need to be part of it to get the full points. So it's going to look like a T-chart, and the whole point is to present the data. That means the values. Values are a little bit different because that means that this number is attached to this number. There's a relationship between them. And it needs to be an organized and easy way to read. A couple things to keep in mind when you create your own tables on your own is that the labels, you have to put the labels just like I put labels up here. You have to tell us what those numbers mean. You have to keep in mind the math symbols. If you use a math symbol, if you put a 2, that means 2. You can't tell me, oh, well, it meant this. No, no, no. 2 means 2, always. If you're using letters, you have to tell us what they mean. And so we started in class the table. And so for Hulu, it was $17 a month. So it was 17 for the first month, 17, 17 for the second month, 34, 17, 17, 17 for 3 months, 51, and we did the table for Hulu. All right. Typically what we do is we put the independent on the left side and then dependent on the right side. And we'll explain what those words mean in a little bit, but I just want to make sure that I put those on here. Now for Netflix was a little bit different because there was a one-time fee. And so we said that if you were with them for 1 month, well, you were going to pay the $10 a month fee and the $28. So if you were with them for a month, you would be paying $38. If you were with them for 2 months, you'd pay the $10 the second month, and you still have to pay the one-time fee, and that would come out to be $48. If you were with them for 3 months, you were 1, 2, 3 months that you were with them, plus the $28, that would be $58. If you're with them for 4 months, you'd pay $10 every month, 4 months, the one-time fee, and that would be a total of $68. So what I'm asking you to do, 2 things. We're doing page 7 and page 8 today. So 1 is to copy this, and then 2 is to fill out the table correctly. Extra credit is for month 0. if you can do that correctly. That's the first thing that we're doing today. The second thing that we're doing today is we're going to go to page 8, and there's a Go Formative for page 8. So what you'll need to do is answer the questions on Go Formative. In your journal, though, what you'll need to do is copy the questions from the Go Formative and copy your answers onto page 8. So page 8 should be what you put on Go Formative, the question and the answer. So those are the two things we're doing today, page 7 and page 8.